Okay, good morning, everyone. So let's start. As I mentioned in the previous session, or in one of the previous sessions, about the first in India, and that to be related to the woman. So first woman in India that we can consider. So here, if you consider the topic, which we can write as a title as the first woman in India. So that may be related to everything what we can consider. So our first female, in India. Okay. So see, this is a factual kind of field or the question, right? Which once is there, always is there. So always keep in mind this particular thing. So let's start. Start from president. So I think in this particular case, most of the answers or the most of the things you might be knowing already, right? Though you know them, you just remember or memorize, and if you don't know something about that, then you can get it. No, yes, I mean that's good, right? So first woman president. First woman president. So it's Pratibha.
First one President Pratibha Patil. ये आंसर मुझे मालूम है.
So okay, it's the name is Pratibha Patil, right? Then next, which you can consider in this particular case, just hold on. So second we can consider is the first woman.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Right, first woman prime minister.
Indira Gandhi.
Indira Gandhi.
Yes, Indira Gandhi. Right. Also, she had been the prime minister from 1966 to 1977, right? And also then in 1977, she enforced the state emergency, Rashtriya Anivani. And again in 1980, she became the prime minister from 1980 to 84. But
Sir,
yes,
sir, your voice is breaking.
okay. I think now you will not be having a kind of problem, the breaking of the other interruption in the continuity of the voice. So I was talking about the first woman prime minister, and it's nothing but the Indira Gandhi, right? So who had been the prime minister from January 1966 to initially, consequently, right? Consecutively from 66 to 77. In 77, there was a state emergency. And again from 1980 to, here you can consider, again from January 1980 to 31st October 1984. Purposefully, I have written this date, right? So on this date, she had been assassinated, right, by her bodyguards, right, called Satwant Singh and the Ben Singh, right? So later on, after a few years, in 1999, BBC has taken a online poll, right? And in that poll, she had been nominated as Woman of the Millennium, right? So these are some of the things which we can consider, right? So this would be the case. In this case, again, you can consider, if you want to consider the tenure, right? So that will be the case which we can consider. Now, I think the question, I think, I forgot whose name. What? Yes, Samin, right? Okay. So, I mean, as asked about what is the millennium. Right? So you know what it is. It is nothing but a period of 1,000 years, right? Especially calculated from the traditional date of the birth of the Christ, right? So that would be the case. So these were the two bodyguards. Akshay, it says meaning of millennium is a period of 1,000 years, right? So particularly, what we can consider is nothing but the plural of millennia, right? So it is a period of 1,000 years, right? Sometimes it also called kilo year, right? So it's a Latin, right? Now see, you know, the different kinds of polls are being done. First 100 effective women in the world, right? Or first 50 effective persons. So likewise, right? So that was related to the woman of the millennium, right? So that is the poll. Now online poll, as you know, nowadays you vote online, right? Maybe for some reality shows or some sort of things, right? So that would be the case which you can consider, right? And these were the two bodyguards. Okay. Next one in this list you can consider. Now since we have started from the apex, right? So we will be going by, let's say, now the president, the prime minister, right? Third, you can consider here is the first woman governor, and the name is, yes, that's good, Mandar. I mean, that's fine. The first woman governor is Sarojini Naidu, right? Sarojini Naidu. Now, she was the first woman governor of any of the state, and name of the state is Uttar Pradesh. And she was in between the governor from 1947 to 1949. So this was the time period which was we can consider the period of the governorship, right? So Sarojini Naidu's daughter, right, though it is not a first one, but it has some significant. So Sarojini Naidu's daughter named Padmaja Naidu. Padmaja Naidu. So she had been also a governor of West Bengal, and she is longest served governor of any of the state. She had been the governor for 10 years, rather more than 10 years. Right? So longest served governor is Padmaja Naidu. Fine. As I said, though it is not a first, right, but it has some significance, that is of longest served governor, which we can consider in this particular case. Now, obviously, the next one which we can consider is, in this particular case, that is related to the chief minister. So fourth is first woman chief minister right first woman chief minister. So this is the next point. Yes, good. Aditya, Mandar. It's right. Samin. And the name is Sucheta Kriplani. Sucheta Kriplani. Now, yes, that's good, Aditya. Sucheta Kriplani was again the chief minister of the same state, Uttar Pradesh. Fine. Basically, she was a professor of history. Professor of history. And then later on, she became the chief minister of the state. Fine. So this is the case about the chief minister of any of the state of the first woman, which we can consider. Now, in this particular case, the period, if you consider from what time period to which she was there, right? It is quite or it is difficult to remember for everyone's time period, but at least these four we will consider for the time period because they are highly depending on the tenure. So the tenure of the chief ministership of Sucheta Kriplani of Uttar Pradesh was from 1963, some October 1963 to March 1967, right? So 63 to 67 was the time period, right, which we can consider. Shabnath, I don't know how to open it. I may not be handling that particular point, but if Rushikesa is if reading it, then he will probably help out in that particular case. Okay, as I said, she was the professor of history in the Banaras Hindu University, right, BHU, and then she has entered into the politics and has become the chief minister. The next in this, which we can consider, obviously, the union minister, right? October 1963. So, yes, then next one is 5th. Acha, okay. I thought that what you are writing. That's fine. But Samin, I think it is not Amit Kumar. It is Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Right. So first woman. Yes, Mandar. Right. So first woman union minister. First woman union minister. Exactly, it was Aditya, health minister. Right. So the name of India's first woman union minister was Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Right, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. Now, see, this is the same name which we can consider for one more title, that is first health minister of India. Right, first health minister of India. She has also served for 10 years. She was included into the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's tenure. And if you time period, then it was around 10 years, right? So the first health minister as well as the first woman union minister. See, our focus is on this, right? And in this particular case, if you consider, right? So I think from 1947 to 56, right, so the time period which we can consider. Then what I was talking. So our focus is on this particular title, but also look around if any other title is being held by that particular personality, then you should also pay attention to that particular point as well, which is important, and what we can consider that will always enhance the circle of understanding related to that particular point. Next we can consider here is the first woman president of right. So first okay, Vijaya Pandit, no, my question is first woman president of Indian National Congress. No, it is not, but yes, Samin got the answer. That's fine. Anyway, first, see, there is a twist in this particular question. First woman president. Mandar, it is not president of Indian National Congress. First woman president of Indian National Congress. Now, if you consider in this particular case, right, about the first woman, Danish, it is not, and the name is Annie Besant. Right, Annie Besant. So, obviously, woman and related to whatever we are having title in, that is India. So here it is particularly about Indian National Congress, right? No doubt one of the answers someone had given, right, that is also correct, or which we can consider, right? But here the question question is what I asked about the question. That question is related to the first woman. So it is not necessarily Indian if you consider. So she was not right in that particular case. Then she had started the looking into the Indian politics, right? Right. So Rishabnath, I said I cannot do it. I don't know how to make it on. Right. If you could not get it, then you have to wait until the break. Later on, you may ask it about to the Rushikesa, right? So he may definitely help you in that resolving that particular issue, right? So what I said is about the Annie Besant, right? Though she was a British socialist, right, or the women's right activist, also educationalist, right, but uh, she was also regarded as the champion of the human freedom. Then she was, yes, right, she was what we can consider a supporter of both Irish and Indian self rules, right? So she has started. I think she got impressed by. I think a sort of work of Mahatma Gandhi, and then she had started looking into uh, the Indian politics, right? The thens, and if you consider, right, then then later on she had become the president of the Indian National Congress, right? And the year was, I think someone has already written. So if you consider, that was 1970. Fine. So in the year 1970, she had chaired the session as a president of Indian National Congress. Right. So Annie Besant, which you can consider in this. And next in this, we can have here is the now judge. Let's say what is number 7. Number 7. And the first woman judge in Supreme Court in Yes Mandar. That's good, right? So first woman judge in Supreme Court. Samin Aditya, that's right. And Kartik, that's right. And the name is Fatima Bibi. Fatima Bibi. So if you consider, when she was appointed as judge in 32 years back in 1989. Right. So she was the first woman in the as a judge in the Supreme Court. Fine. The next, if we consider now judges, so we will be considering the judge in High Court. So for that, you can consider the first woman Chief Justice. Chief Justice of any of the high courts. Right. See, here it is Chief Justice. Here simply it was only judge. Fine. So Chief Justice of that's good, Karthik, of the High Court. Mandar, that's fine. Right. And the name is that's good, Karthik. Leela Seth. Leela Seth. This one is right from 1989. I don't know when she got retired. Obviously, at the age of superannuation, she must have got retired on that particular point. Right? It's not necessary that when she was retired, right? So Leela Seth, which you can consider. So again, in this case, or with this particular lady has one more title, and that title is she was the first woman judge of Delhi High Court. Right. See, here it is only judge. Here it is Chief Justice. Fine. So she was the first judge of Delhi High Court. Okay. See, in the judiciary, right? So in judiciary, apex body is no doubt Supreme Court and the subsequent branches of it, right? Which we can consider as the branches, right? So that will be the and then subsequent court. Okay. So first woman Chief Justice of High Court. She was the first judge of Delhi High Court as well. So Supreme Court, High Courts, right? Again, if you see, there are branches of High Courts, right? So as far as Maharashtra, other different things, then the next to this obviously is the district courts, right, and then sessional courts, which we can consider. Fine. So she was also the first first woman judge of Delhi High Court. So she was appointed as the Chief Justice of any of the high courts, right, in India, and that particular high court is right. So here I will write. Yes, that's right. Which was recently started. Right. Then, yes, I was talking about she was the Chief Justice of the Himachal Pradesh High Court. Himachal Pradesh High Court. Right. In August 1991, she was appointed on this. Right. I think, yes, in 1991, she was appointed as the Chief Justice of the Himachal Pradesh High Court. she had also done something else, right, which is very important as far as the rights to the daughters, and as again in the rights to the daughters in a joint family. So she was highly responsible, right, irrespective of these things, but uh, response of 15th Law Commission